morning, and thank you for joining us as we announce the City of Lancaster's 6th Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service this Saturday, a week from now, Saturday, January 19th, 2013. It is my pleasure to welcome Mayor Emeritus Bishop Henry Hearns up to say a few words to open our program today.
Thank you so very much, and good morning and Happy New Year to you. It's an honor today for me to stand before you, and I appreciate the mayor of our city and our city manager and all of the city council. I thank you for allowing me to continue to be on this program. This is where my heart really is in serving. I got two things I want to say to you. And while I was talking to Angela just a few minutes ago, Nicole rather, something came in my mind, and I call it the 2S system. S as in Sam, S as in Sam. And I believe this will fit Dr. Martin Luther King. Service before self. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are not in that position, then you do not need to be in a position of leadership in our community. Because if you spend your time worrying about what's going to happen to you or what somebody's going to say to you, you're not going to be able to serve and present a product that will move our community forward. Dr. Martin Luther King was one of those, and I think he said on one occasion to Malcolm X, he said, "Hey son," he said, "we're dead men. We just haven't laid down yet." He said, "But I'm not concerned about that. I want to serve." He goes on to say that any one of us can be great if you want to serve, and serve before self. 24 years ago, you've heard this story, most of you, if you've been around here a while. 24 years ago, across the road over here at 10th Street West and Avenue J at the Methodist Church, a small group of us met. And we met for the purpose of doing a memorial service for Dr. Martin Luther King. And then to think about that, just last year, 23 years later, last year, we had over 2,000 volunteers. Preachers, pastors, servants, just people who really wanted to serve and didn't worry about the cold weather or anything else. We got out there and served. We even had a chance to work here in the gym. So I want to thank my city and run to all of you. I thank you all so very much for all you do to pull things together. So the 19th of this month, the 19th, will be a day of service, not a day off, but a day on. And we're excited about that. And there's going to be a lot of things. Some more details will be coming along after that. Also, the following day, over here at the University of Antelope Valley, that's 44055 North Sierra Highway. At 4 p.m., we will have, and we have a picture back there that I was going to hold up just to show that, but we have a picture back there of what's going to happen. Jackie Lacey, our newly elected DA for the County of Los Angeles, will be our keynote speaker at 4 p.m., and she will be talking about justice, and we call it Justice Sunday. I'd like to say this in closing, that here we go. Thank you. Can you see this? I think you can see that. But I want to say that our Mayor Rex Parrish, got together with some attorneys and some people and started a thing we call expungement. That's going to continue. Now, he had to do that unselfishly because a lot of people didn't like what he did. But it worked for a lot of people. We have several people who have been expunged and are now back in the community making a good living for their families because they do not have a mark behind their name. Ladies and gentlemen, I could go on and on with the service, but let me just tell you this again. I am appreciative and thankful for the privilege of being able to serve, and hopefully across my life, coming up on 80 years old, coming up in April, hopefully I've had an opportunity to at a few times put service before self. Thank you very much.
I'm sort of pinch hitting for somebody up here today, and there's some things I'm going to cover in the script, but I want to talk a little bit first. I want to draw your attention to where we are today. We are at the small gym at Antelope Valley High School, and this was the site of a service project here in 2012 for the MLK Day of Service. And what's exciting about this and why I want to take a couple moments and speak about it is this was an underutilized gym. AV, it needed some repairs, and this site and this entire school was the focus of 500 people last year who came in from various service organizations. There were alumni, there were active students, there were teachers alongside kids, 5 years old and up, that were working here, repairing buildings, painting, working on restrooms, doing improvements in classrooms, and most notably this gym, which, like I stated, was underutilized. They installed the beautiful, or sort of recreated the beautiful windows that are in here now, and it feels like there's life in here to me now. There's some scuff marks on the wall, and it's used, and you can feel it, and the program breathed new life into this building, and that's what the MLK Day of Service is all about. At least that's what it is to me. It's about bringing the community together, the churches and the families and the kids and the service groups and the alumni and the students, and forming bonds and friendships and partnerships that will hopefully last years and years and make it a better community. So I just wanted to take a moment and talk about that, and somebody that'll add a little bit more information about what happened here at AV High last year is Principal Matt Anderson.
Well, thank you and good morning. Yeah, it has been a very energetic 12 months, well, 18 months or so here at AV. But a year ago, we were so thankful and grateful to have Neighborhood Impact, the city of Lancaster, throw their support behind AV High School with our MLK Day of Service. It was an amazing day for our students to see, for our staff to see, and I think the community at large to see. I think it was over 600 volunteers here, many of them in the small gym, but we had hundreds in bathrooms. Every student bathroom on campus was cleaned and repainted and scrubbed, and tiles were replaced. We had so many projects. We had people just scouring the campus to pick up trash. I mean, like a windy day like this, we all know how trash just blows in the Antelope Valley. And when you've got acres and acres and acres, sometimes that stuff builds up. And it was an amazing day. It humbled me. I think it humbled our staff in terms of the amount of support, just care, and just this feeling that AV is a part of a greater community. Lancaster and Palmdale, the entire Antelope Valley, man, we had people here whose kids didn't even go to AV and went to Little Rock or Palmdale. It was a great day for us, and you can see the benefits and kind of the result of that. This was a great gym. You know, I'm an old basketball player, and when I first walked into this gym, I loved it. I looked at it and said, man, this is a great old gym. But it was ugly, and it was old. And what we have been able to do through this process is transform this great gym into a beautiful gym that is old and has this history. I mean, how many people will come up to me and talk about when they played in this gym or they practiced in this gym? So many. And it's been really great because it hits home to me. Like I said, this is one of the first buildings I walked into, and I just loved it here at AV. And it really has done a lot for our school. You know, this last year at AV, we saw our API, our test score, school-wide test score, jump 29 points, which is the most it's grown at AV for a decade. But not only was it a school-wide jump of 29 API points, every one of our significant subgroups jumped double digits. Some jumped into the 30s, some were in 15, most of them were in the 20s or 30s, meaning each one of our significant subgroups jumped at least double-digit API points. And then collectively, that led to a 29-point growth. And why I bring that up is because the students at AV fed into the energy that was brought during this day of service last year. The 100-year celebration we've had at AV we celebrated this October, but it really started, I think, last January when we had our day of service here. It has really been just a springboard for the academic growth. Our athletic teams are performing at a higher level of success than we had seen in previous years. We went to the CIF playoffs in football for the first time in a long time this year. We've just seen the culture, the climate, the school spirit just jump this year. It's been a great year, and a lot of it was kicked off because of the support that the City of Lancaster and the Neighborhood Impact Organization, all the churches in the Valley, that they've thrown to AV High School. And so I'm humbled by it. We really appreciate the support, and we're glad that we're able to show off our new gym to everyone a year later. And it was touched on, but the district has taken what we did last year on the ML Day of Service and put in the windows. The windows used to be in this gym, and then they were taken out and boarded up for whatever reason a number of years ago, and we've brought that back in. And I think it really has kind of topped it off. And so just want to say thank you to the city. It's been a great year here at AV. And the last thing I want to touch on is that last year at this time, there was a challenge thrown out to the community, primarily to AV alums, but to anyone that wanted to be involved. It was called the 1K Challenge. And the challenge was to donate $1,000 each, or if somebody wanted to donate $1,000 to the MLK Day of Service at AV, that they could. And so we had a number of individuals donate $1,000. And so today we have a plaque that we want to unveil that has the names of the different individuals and groups that donated $1,000 to the renovation of this gym and then other projects on campus last year. And so I want to read those names right now, and then we'll unveil the plaque in a second. So these are the groups or the individuals that donated $1,000 last year. The AV Christian Center, the AV Christian Ministerial Alliance, Nicole Canada and Anthony Canada, Central Christian Church, Donald Cran, Desert Vineyard Church, Grace Chapel Church, Livingstone Cathedral of Worship, Kin Man, RX Paris Law Firm, and George and Sharon Runner. And so those individuals and those groups really were a huge part of providing the financial resources to do what we did on this campus. And so we've memorialized them in this plaque.
Now it's time for me to talk a little bit about what 2013 is going to look like. This year, the city is hosting more than 30 service projects throughout the community. Some of those projects include the Antelope Valley Red Cross Disaster Preparedness Walk, the Children's Center mural, a Habitat for Humanity Veterans Home Improvement, financial literacy workshops, Monte Vista and Southeast Transit Village campus improvements, and the Lancaster Community Homeless Shelter Refurbishment Project. Now, those are just a few of the 30 that we have to offer. The span of projects includes several cleanup and improvement projects, which remove blight, foster community pride. They also include sustainable garden projects this year, disaster preparedness projects. Different groups will be feeding the homeless. We'll be providing hospice care makeovers, like I mentioned, mural and painting projects, as well as bone marrow registry opportunities and blood drives. So we're really excited about it this year. It's on the 19th. We're inviting citizens of all ages, nonprofit and service organizations, as well as community groups to sign up and volunteer for this day of service. We want to really ensure that this year and every year that we do this, that it continues to be impactful in our community. But it wouldn't be a success without partnerships and the support of the entire community. Year after year, our businesses show up and faithfully support this endeavor. And this year, I want to call your attention to Edison International, which has granted us $5,000 to support the 2013 MLK Day of Service. So I'd like to invite Kathy Hart, the Deputy Region Director of Local Public Affairs for the Northern Region, up to speak a little bit about Southern California Edison's commitment to this event.
We're pleased to have awarded a $5,000 grant to the Lancaster Community Foundation to help fund supplies and support materials for this outreach, and to encourage other companies and citizens to become involved in service as a tribute to the legacy of Dr. King. Edison has been a valued member of the community for more than 125 years. As neighborhoods have grown, new businesses have come, schools have been built, Edison International has stood by as a proud partner. Now in the 21st century, we aim to continue the tradition of helping our communities grow and thrive. Edison has expanded its giving focus as a result to include 4 main areas where we aim to make the strongest impact. Those areas are education, the environment, public safety and preparedness, and civic engagement. In 2011, Edison International gave $17 million to over 5,500 nonprofits in Central, Coastal, and Southern California. And in 2012, we increased our charitable contributions budget to more than $19 million. Our support of charitable causes is entirely funded by Edison International shareholders. Our customers do not pay for those donations on their utility bills. We see our community donations as a part of our commitment to be a leading corporate citizen. As Edison employees, we also feel that we have a responsibility to be involved and active participants in projects in the areas where we live and work. And we believe that a community's civic health is very critical. Community engagement is also important to economic development as well. Our employees and our retirees contribute more than 250,000 hours annually to help build and unite communities where we live. Edison has selected the city's Martin Luther King Day activities as a prime example of the ways that a city can promote grassroots involvement to help meet the needs of our underserved and diverse communities. And so I'm very pleased to offer the ceremonial check today to the city, and again encourage other corporations and businesses to support this noteworthy day as well.